I know a lot about Holly. I've followed Holly since when she was still boxing, during her transition to MMA, and of course what she's doing now in the UFC, considering she's in the same division as Ronda Rousey. Holly isn't getting the credit she deserves for being such a dangerous opponent. Now, why do I say that? Well, you're talking about a young lady with almost 40 professional fights in boxing and multiple world titles in boxing. She transitioned into MMA, where she's now currently undefeated at 9-0 with 6 knockout finishes in MMA. Now, since transitioning into the UFC, she has 2 fights in the UFC, which doesn't seem like a lot to get a world title fight, but at the same time, you look at the track record of what she's done, you look at the pedigree of who she is, and the time in her age and in her career, if not now really, then when, for an undefeated athlete like Holly to fight another undefeated athlete in Ronda Rousey. Personally, Holly has more combat experience, almost 4 times the combat experience as Ronda does between boxing and MMA. It's a much more competitive fight than most people would say. And you know, I see her getting bashed on the internet. Why do you bash this young lady? Because she's worked her tail off to get to where she is. She's undefeated. She's certainly deserves to be in the conversation. Now, to jump over Miesha for the title shot, that's a conversation. I think Miesha deserved to be the #1 contender, or at least in that conversation. Having 2 cracks at Ronda already, I could see why Miesha was taken out of the equation and Holly was put in. Holly's dangerous. She's much more dangerous than, again, people are giving her credit for, because she knows range, she knows distance, and she knows how to finish fights. She also knows how to control fights. She knows how to win decisions and stay out of trouble, which she showed in her last fight. She barely got touched. She barely got hit. So she made her show money, she made her win money, and she put herself into world's title contention while not having a scratch on her face. So those that are bashing her, they don't understand combat sports. The key, #1 rule in combat sports is don't get hit. #2 is beat the living piss out of your opponent, right? I mean, that's really how it goes. So it shows how intelligent she is. She's a veteran fighter from one of the best teams in all of mixed martial arts at Jackson Winklejohn. She's got some of the best coaches, the best training partners. You look, there's 4 world title contenders right now coming out of Jackson Winklejohn's. Consider that. Consider who this young lady is and what she brings to the table, because we, as part of Team Rousey, we understand. We have our hands full with this young lady, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure that Ronda can go out there and be devastating. And it'll take nothing less from our team and from Ronda to work as hard as humanly possible to be devastating against a very legitimate opponent like Holly Holm.